on me. Need my daily affirmation. I wake up in the morning, say this shit to myself.
You look good in the shows. I like that diamond in your nose. Hair did, nails done, let me see nails. She just want a nigga that gon' let her be. Kush smell on her clothes. She in all designer stores. Ballin' that nigga, yeah, you better be. Big dick nigga, I'ma let her see. She shining like a diamond, she ain't worried about no man. She do what she want, don't let nobody stop her bag. Sweet as she can be, but she don't wanna make her mad. I seen her slap her hoe so many times it was sad. She say I know a lot of people, but I ain't really got no friends. She don't follow trends, she don't care who get offended. 100 on a new Bentley, say it symbolize winning. She don't fuck with nothing unless it's given. She living, she know she got that wet. Niggas gon' regret ever tryna play her. A hoe ain't no threat. Honestly, I'm impressed. Now I'm dead set. They was on that petty shit. We was on a jet. You look good and it shows. I like that diamond in your nose. Hair did, nails done, let me see nails. She just want a nigga that gon' let her be. Kush smell on her clothes. She in all designer stores. Ballin' that nigga, yeah, you better be. Big dick nigga, I'ma let her see. You know she really cookin', she gon' scramble up some bands. Hold it 5 for you, be your right hand man. She gon' tell you when your friends try to fuck them ain't your friends. God forbid you get jammed up, they gon' tell a fed. She gon' get some straightening by the nigga out. Yeah, you can get all her attention how. She just might go crazy about that nigga out. Pay attention, she be standing on the business. Yeah, how get the brake struck. Yeah, pull up, fill it up. Yeah, hoe ain't saying nothing. Yeah, talking about no money. Action. She pull up in high fast. She ain't ducking no action. Out the G-Wagon, take a flight first class. You look good and it shows. I like that diamond in your nose. Hair did, nails done, let me see nails. She just want a nigga that gon' let her be. Kush smell on her clothes. She in all designer stores. Ballin' that nigga, yeah, you better be. Big dick nigga, I'ma let her see. This shit in 3D. I know some nigga won't be me. Ayy, I know some niggas won't be me. Yeah, this shit look 3D. Yeah, this shit in 3D. I know some nigga won't be me. Ayy, I know some nigga won't be me. Yeah, this shit look 3D. Ayy, yeah. I was never in the car with them niggas. I was a shock to them niggas. Wouldn't get caught with them niggas. I seen a flaw in them niggas. Wouldn't get far with them niggas. Couldn't employ none of them niggas. Pray to Allah for them niggas. I put that claw on them niggas. I break a jaw on them niggas. Better go ask my slaughter these niggas. That boy ain't from my hood. Put that little cat in the backwood. That boy ain't from my hood. Put that little cat in the backwood. That boy ain't from my hood. Put that little cat in the backwood. F-in on me, the back end on me. Now watch out, little homie, you know I be on it. I am a boss of these niggas. I couldn't floss with these niggas. Had to back off for these niggas. It's weird when I talk to these niggas. Ain't enough heart in these niggas. I throw the knife to these niggas. Fuck with a few, but you know I'ma spark with my niggas. How much I'm parked in my niggas? A product of murder work. I am that ball with them niggas. Tell them niggas they was scared of me, niggas. I come from robbing and starving them niggas. I'm a starter niggas. I caught some cases in Waco. I was a part of them niggas. I come from fighting in GB. Yeah, that shit look 3D. Ain't too many niggas see me. Damn, not a blemish on my image. I'm eternal, I'm eternal, I'm eternal, I'm eternal, I'm eternal. Ain't no promise I'ma see tomorrow. Yeah, something about my name, make a fuck nigga stay in they lane. Burn them up and turn them up internally. I feel like I'm eternal, yeah. I've been living longer than the Lord. Boy, if I ain't believing God, I won't see nothing but them wild. Let her tell him you a king. You will never reach me cause I'm tied to a chick, dog. Nah, I ain't no regret, dog. Standing on the business, yeah. Everything you want, I know how to get it started. I'm like a cigarette. You want smoke, you get lit up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. It is Thursday, April 9th. We got some news to get into that you can use. Good morning, everybody. Hold on, let me get to this screen. Okay. So we're gonna hop right into it. I told y'all I was gonna look up information about the e-fuel, the E15 fuel. Let me share my screen with y'all real quick. Hold on. This is what I found about the E15. So this E15, okay, it's been around. E15 is currently available at more than 4,600 retail stations across 34 states, often sold under the name Unleaded 88. So I want to make a correction about yesterday. I said if your car is not a 2021 and above, this gas is bad for your car. It's actually if your car is not a 2001 and above, is bad for your car. Um, Major change offering E15 unleaded is Sheets, Quick Trip, Quick Star, Casby General, uh, what's this? Casby General Store, Come and Go, Racetrack, Thornton's are offering this. The place where it's hard to find this E15 gasoline is at Costco, Sam's Club, and Kroger, and Walmart. Remember yesterday um we talked about the Sam's Club gas stations. Okay. So I wanted to touch on that for y'all. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Callie. That's one thing I wanted to touch on. Okay, let's go back here real quick. Let's take this down. I wanted to show y'all. So I said I was gonna look up the app for y'all. The best app that y'all can get your cash back is Gas Buddy. This is the leading comparison tool that uses crowdsourced data to show real-time gas prices near you. Savings, you can save up to 25 cents per gallon on your gas and sometimes up to 33% by using the free Pay with Gas Buddy debit card. Premium option, a paid version is $9.99 a month. Guarantees higher savings, typically 20% off per gallon and up to 50 gallons monthly. So that is the app that you can use to find the cheapest gas near you. Rewards off offers typically range from 5 to 25 cents back per gallon. Earnings can be cashed out via PayPal, bank transfer, or gift cards. So Gas Buddy, not only is it going to show you the cheaper gas, but it is going to give you cash back. There's nothing wrong with some cash back. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, we're going to leave there. We're going to do a little news. Hold on, let's get into some news. See what's going on in the world. Hold on, I can't hear that. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Y'all can't see it neither. Hold on. Let me go back here so I can share it to the right screen. Hold on. Hold on. Right there. That's what we want. We want that. Can y'all see that? Yes, y'all can see that. Okay, let's get into some news because I know one of the big questions that was asked yesterday when it came to the news was was this ceasefire going to do? Um, was Iran gonna go with the ceasefire? I did watch the Iran news yesterday, and I did listen to one of the leaders that's talking for them over there. And he said that they are not willing, they're not going with it. They're not going with it because it's been war crimes committed, because also Israel took and bombed uh, a nuclear plant of theirs. Uh, they are not happy. Uh, Ceasefire. When you think of ceasefire means that you're ceasing to shoot your guns off um, in the entire war. You shouldn't be picking and choosing where you still want to shoot your guns off at. And they're not happy. They're not happy. America can make any excuses they want for what they did to Libya yesterday, what Israel did to Libya. If it's supposed to be a ceasefire, that means everything's supposed to stop. Um, let's get into some news, y'all, because it's wild. Hold on. Here we go.
Most trusted, now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, the breaking news right now involving the U.S. and Iran. President Trump's ceasefire already being tested tonight. Iran now saying the Strait of Hormuz is not open, and what Iran is now demanding amid sprawling attacks in Lebanon, and what Vice President J.D. Vance is calling a misunderstanding. We'll go live to Mary Bruce at the White House. Also breaking, the chilling turn in court involving a serial killer, the husband and father who worked as an architect in New York City, pleading guilty today. How many women did he kill? The moment he spoke in court, and you will hear from the woman who he was married to for 27 years. Just in tonight, we're following an emergency playing out in Philadelphia. A deadly parking garage collapse, the search for possible victims trapped. The new images tonight, the massive warehouse fire, and we have now learned police are investigating this video. Does it show an employee starting the fire? Also tonight, the husband who reported his wife missing in the Bahamas, telling authorities she fell overboard and was swept away, now breaking his silence, what he's now saying, as her daughter calls for an investigation. The harrowing 911 calls, the father who drowned rescuing two of his children in a rip current. Tonight, we now hear his wife calling for help. Bystanders trying to revive her husband. The major news tonight in the Matthew Perry case, the so-called ketamine queen sentenced for illegally selling the drugs, killing the Friends star. The judge's decision right here. Tonight, the Tiger Woods crash and what prosecutors now say they will seek a subpoena for. And America Strong tonight, the young children taking over the Masters. And look at this, the young daughter and her 20-foot putt. How this ends right here.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the breaking news, the U.S. and Iran, and tonight the White House acknowledging this is a fragile ceasefire, and it's already being tested tonight. Just hours after President Trump announced the 2-week ceasefire, Iran then saying it had closed the Strait of Hormuz. The White House had demanded Iran open the critical passageway. Iran closing the strait, blocking oil tankers from going through as Israel unleashed a sprawling attack on Lebanon. President Trump saying Lebanon is not included in this ceasefire deal, calling it, quote, a separate skirmish. Tonight, a gallon of gas in the U.S. now at $4.
Hold on. See, this is what I be talking about when I'm talking about playing games. Like, he's playing games. You playing games, sir. Because it ain't no way that there's a difference. There's no way that you should think that it is a difference. Ceasefires means ceasefire. That means you and your partner that you got with Israel, nobody should be doing anything during the ceasefire. And that's why that Hamas is it Strait of Hamas. That's why it's still closed. That's why it's still closed. Because y'all hard headed. Good morning, Kenny K and my mother's keeper. What's going on with you? What is going on?
$4.16 a gallon, up $1.22 since this war began, and the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. So what next? Mary Bruce leads us off from the White House.
The White House says the, quote, fragile ceasefire with Iran is holding, but tonight President Trump's key condition remains unmet, Iran refusing to reopen traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Still, Vice President J.D. Vance, who is now leading negotiations, insists, quote, fundamentally, we're in a good spot.
No ceasefire ever goes without a little bit of choppiness.
Iran says it will not reopen the strait because they say the U.S. has gone back on what they claim was a key element of the truce, that Israel would stop bombarding Iranian-backed Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. Today, Israel unleashing a sprawling barrage of more than 100 attacks on the Lebanese capital, Beirut, the most since the war began, killing at least 180 people, more than 1.2 million.
So you do a ceasefire, and then 180 people get ill. How do you think these people are supposed to respond back to you? Why do y'all think it's not going to be a retaliation? See, one thing about Iran ain't saying what they're going to do, but they definitely saying they're going to do something. They definitely saying that they're not agreeing to a doggone thing. Because you keep on doing the bull. You keep doing the bull, and then you want to say, oh, well, we won the war. How? How, sir? How? That's just craziness. And what's crazy is, let's say, for instance, y'all, that the war was over right now, right? Say the war was over. They open up this Hamas, and oil is let over here. Do y'all know that even when the oil is released, it's going to take months for the decline in gas prices? Now, why is that? What sense does that make? If we have oil, which we have oil now, I've been saying that we have oil right now, there's no reason for these gas prices to be as high as they are. But like I said yesterday, when things happen, people take advantage of the little people, right? Everybody got to eat off of the situation, right? Craziness. Good morning, Cass. Thank you for the cheers, baby. This craziness. That's crazy.
Million people displaced in the conflict. Iran's foreign minister declaring the world sees the massacres in Lebanon. The ball is in the U.S. court, and the world is watching whether it will act on its commitments. But Vance today saying Lebanon was never part of the ceasefire deal.
I think this comes from a legitimate misunderstanding. I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that was going to be the case.
One thing is clear, Iran still controls the strait. Before the war, ships could pass through free of charge. But President Trump now telling our John Carl the U.S. and Iran could work together one day to collect tolls, saying we're thinking of doing it as a joint venture. Any arrangement like that seems...
Man, them people ain't thinking about doing no joint nothing with us. Not nothing. I don't know what world he lives in. And these people won't even talk to you, sir. Iran won't even sit down and talk to you. If Iran's been letting oil, these ships full of oil come through there free of charge, why is you going over there trying to talking about charging ships to come through there now? You want to make money off of somebody else's property, sir. We don't own nothing up over there, sir. Once again, we in people business that we shouldn't be in. We in people business that we should not be in. Has nothing to do with us.
It's a long way off, and tonight the strait remains closed. The national average price for a gallon of gas now at $4.16, up $1.22 since the war began. Economists say it could take months to fall once the strait reopens. Today, the administration also pressed to explain the president's plan for halting Iran's nuclear program and moving their more than 900 pounds of enriched uranium out of the country.
They will either give it to us, which the president has laid out. They'll give it to us voluntarily. We'll get it. We'll take it out. Or if we have to do something else ourselves, like we did in Midnight Hammer or something like that, we can.
Steady over there trying to take people's stuff. Steady over there trying to be bullies. How you gonna try something though? They'll just hand it over to us. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
We reserve that opportunity.
And David, those negotiations are supposed to begin in earnest this weekend in Pakistan, but the two sides are not on the same page on a host of issues. And tonight, Iran says the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. And that was President Trump's top demand when he agreed to this ceasefire, David.
Mary Bruce leading us off here tonight. Mary, thank you. To the other news tonight, the chilling turn in court today involving serial killer Rex Heuermann. The husband.
Yeah, we're not even about to talk about this crazy man at all. At all. I don't want to glorify nothing that crazy man was doing at all. Just craziness. You know what we could use, y'all? We could use, hold on, I want to let me put drop the link just in case somebody want to come up here. You know, I like to hear y'all opinions on what's going on. Hold on. Drop that link in there. I want to get into some good, you know, we usually do some good videos. So this morning, I have a funny video for y'all. Damn, it didn't save. Damn. Hold on, y'all, because I'm going to have to, hold on, let me see how I can do this. I'm gonna have to save it because I don't see it in here. Hold on. Okay, so remember we talked about before, right? About with Snapchat, Instagram, any of these internets, things that we are using, Facebook, anything, and these private messages that we were talking about, and we were saying how AI is going to be reading your messages. If it feels like you are doing something wrong or saying something wrong, it will be giving that information to the FBI, right? Watch this.
I keep telling y'all, you're going to wind up getting your ass locked up for saying something that you're not supposed to be saying in these DMs on these social media apps. AI will tell on you. A teacher got pulled out of her classroom and arrested for a message that she sent on Snapchat. You heard what I just said? This teacher sent a message to her roommate, and AI felt the message was something that the FBI needed to hear. And guess what happened? Just what I said. The FBI came and locked her ass up. This teacher was teaching her class, doing a lesson. One of her students shut off her laptop while she was in the middle of the lesson, ruining her lesson plan. Of course, that probably made her mad. She texted her friend via Snapchat, and she said to her friend, "My student deleted my lesson plan for the day. Should I shoot him or not?" You can see how anybody would take that, right? Mind you, that was in privacy. That was in her messages on Snapchat. But AI read that. AI sent that directly to the FBI, and they came and handcuffed her and locked her up. And you could say she shouldn't have sent that message. And she shouldn't have sent that message. Of course, she should have known the seriousness of that. But her thinking that that's in the privacy of her chat, she sent it. She probably wouldn't have even harmed that student. But AI didn't think so. And she got arrested. But I'm betting you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit.
Hi, I'm Deputy Sean with the Sheriff's Office. Do you happen to have your phone on you? I do, yes.
Okay, do you want to hand that to me, please?
Yes.
Okay, reason we're here is, have you been on Snapchat earlier today?
Yes, I was, yeah.
Okay, and so we got a call about a snap. So did you happen to make one today?
I did, yeah.
The kids make you mad today?
No.
Nothing about your computer or anything like that?
I had a lesson plan and one of the kids turned off my computer on my lesson plan. I was like, oh, dang, but I never get mad with the kids ever.
Did you snap after that? Did you set up?
No. What? I'm so confused.
So what I want to show you is the snap we received.
Oh, yes. But, okay, yes. This is a joke, though, but yes.
I'm gonna leave you on that note. I'm out. I keep.
So how they is, man, listen, y'all better watch these messages y'all be sending out. What's going on, roast? What is going on with you this morning? These people be tripping. So this is what I wanted to do, y'all. I wanted to elaborate a little bit on what I was saying yesterday. And I found somebody to break down that strategy I was talking about. Yeah, let's listen to Trump's strategy on this war. I think he can break it down. This will break it down for you better than what I did. What's up, Big Slump?
Listen to this. Trump isn't an idiot. What if losing the war in Iran is exactly the plan? Let me show you something the media will never tell you. Okay, so everyone's saying Trump is destroying America. He's fighting an unwinnable war in Iran. He's threatening to invade with ground troops. He's pissing off NATO by threatening Greenland. He's picking fights with Canada, Mexico, Denmark, Colombia. JP Morgan says the world will run out of oil by mid-April. The global economy is about to collapse. Trump looks like the worst president in history. A complete buffoon, right? But what if that's the whole point? What if Trump wants to lose the war in Iran? What if he wants the American empire to collapse? What if he wants to destroy the global economy? Then he'd be a genius. Let me explain. Right now, the world gets 20% of its oil from the Middle East. Japan, 75% from the Middle East. India, 60% from the Middle East. Europe, heavily dependent. But here's the thing. Oil isn't rare. Venezuela has the world's largest reserves. Canada has massive reserves. The United States has massive reserves. Trump just took over Venezuela in January. He's threatening to take over Canada. You see where this is going? If Trump closes the Strait of Hormuz by fighting Iran, the Middle East oil stops flowing. But North America, still pumping. Suddenly, Europe, China, Japan, South Korea, they all need American oil. Not just oil, fertilizer too. Nitrogen for food production comes from the Middle East. If that's cut off, where do they turn? North America and Russia. Trump is making the entire world dependent on resources he controls. Now, here's the genius part. Who owns...
Oh, shit. My bad, y'all.
Listen to this. Trump isn't an idiot. What if losing the war in Iran is exactly the plan? Let me show you something the media will never tell you. Okay, so everyone's saying Trump is destroying America. He's fighting an unwinnable war in Iran. He's threatening to invade with ground troops. He's pissing off NATO by threatening Greenland. He's picking fights with Canada, Mexico, Denmark, Colombia. JP Morgan says the world will run out of oil by mid-April. The global economy is about to collapse. Trump looks like the worst president in history. A complete buffoon, right? But what if that's the whole point? What if Trump wants to lose the war in Iran? What if he wants the American empire to collapse? What if he wants to destroy the global economy? Then he'd be a genius. Let me explain. Right now, the world gets 20% of its oil from the Middle East. Japan, 75% from the Middle East. India, 60% from the Middle East. Europe, heavily dependent. But here's the thing. Oil isn't rare. Venezuela has the world's largest reserves. Canada has massive reserves. The United States has massive reserves. Trump just took over Venezuela in January. He's threatening to take over Canada. You see where this is going? If Trump closes the Strait of Hormuz by fighting Iran, the Middle East oil stops flowing. But North America, still pumping. Suddenly, Europe, China, Japan, South Korea, they all need American oil. Not just oil, fertilizer too. Nitrogen for food production comes from the Middle East. If that's cut off, where do they turn? North America and Russia. Trump is making the entire world dependent on resources he controls. Now, here's the genius part. Who owns the most U.S. debt? Who's financing America's $39 trillion? Japan, China, Taiwan, South Korea, Asia, UK, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Europe. The same countries that need Middle East oil. There's been this fear that these countries would stop buying U.S. Treasury bonds, that they'd move to gold or Swiss francs, that America's Ponzi scheme would collapse. But now they need American energy. They need American resources. They can't abandon the dollar. They're trapped. Trump just turned America's biggest weakness, its debt, into its greatest weapon. By starting an unwinnable war in Iran, he's forcing the entire world to depend on North America. It's called the TechNate, Greater North America. Greenland for rare earth minerals, Canada for oil and resources, Venezuela for oil reserves, Mexico for manufacturing, Panama Canal for trade control. Trump's not being reckless. He's building a self-sufficient North American fortress while the rest of the world burns. So yes, Trump looks like an idiot. Yes, he's losing the war in Iran. Yes, he's destroying the global economy. But if the goal was to end the American empire and rebuild it for Americans, to make the world dependent on U.S. resources while everyone else collapses, then Trump might go down as the greatest American president in history. The new world order is dead. Welcome to the Trump world order.
What if the chaos?
Hold on now, because Big Slump is in the building. Big Slump, can you come up here, sir? Can you come up here? Because I thought that you would find this very interesting, because I did, okay? Because it made plenty of sense to me to look at it from this way. Because yes, he's definitely stating facts of what is going on. It definitely makes sense. Especially if you think about it, that the Orange Man, I'm sorry I'm saying his name, y'all, but the Orange Man is definitely a businessman. So it makes sense. Even with him doing this ceasefire, it makes sense. Because he knew them people wasn't going with it. He knew already that Israel was going to hit Libya. He knew all this, y'all. He knew all of this. I don't want to chop up your name 263. Someone's going to say 263, okay? He said a businessman that has bankrupt a couple casinos. Listen here. When I say this man is up to something bigger than what we think. He's up to something bigger than what we think. I definitely want to hear Big Slump's what he thought about this. For sure. Rose, you can hit the panel too. I be wanting to hear y'all opinion. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to give y'all my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I be wanting to hear y'all thoughts. I thought that me showing that video could definitely break it down what I was trying to explain and say yesterday. It will break it down a little bit better for y'all. So come on with it, fellas, this morning. While we waiting on them, y'all. I don't even want to even get into nothing else until we talk to them. Because I definitely want to hear you fellas' opinions, if y'all could. If y'all not busy this morning, I want to hear y'all opinions on what was just said. Here go Roast. Here's my brother. What you think?
Hey, salute. I think that, yeah, you got this, you might have this genius type plan, so to speak, but you fighting a losing war on purpose. It's a losing war. So in the midst of you trying to do your genius plan If we lose in the war, you could get American soil hit easy. Like you might got defensive means to intercept missiles coming over here, but you gotta think we're dealing with this Middle East. They got suicide bombers and whatnot. You know what I'm saying, all over this country. They got all kinds of cells out here that could hit places like gas stations, truck stops, plants that produce the gasoline and all that jet fuel, diesel. You know, we don't know what to expect. So people could hit schools like you hit one of their schools out there. You know what I'm saying? For your genius plan. So is it worth the casualties that could happen here with innocent civilians? It's a risk, man.
All right, listen. How well have the Orange Hose plans worked out so far?
Hey, Fly.
Well, how y'all doing? How well has the Orange Hose plans worked out so far? That's one. And that man, I heard what he said. He sounds the same way that Cowboys fans have been sounding for the past decade. That man don't know shit. That Orange Hose,
you ain't gotta even bring them into it like that.
The Orange Hose is a fucking idiot, point blank here.
Oh my God! Well, why you had to do the Cowboys like that though?
I'm just saying.
We damn sure beat the Eagles. I'm on mute.
You still didn't make it to the Super Bowl, and we still was in it longer than you. Now,
y'all got me over here choking. I'm so sick of y'all. Oh, okay, y'all. Okay.
What's up, Big Slim? Salute.
Salute to you, Rose. Was good. Salute to peace. Salute to panel. Chat. What's going on? Good morning to y'all.
What's up, Slump?
Slump? You know, 5 had to come up here.
Just let the Cowboys have it, huh? Damn.
But listen,
don't do it
Big
like
Slump,
that, man.
I'm telling you, she didn't even have to bring our boys even into this discussion. It had nothing to do with them. This is why I be talking about people deflecting. People be deflected off of the facts.
Just slid that off in there. Just bam. Okay, cool. Understood.
See, she can actually control everything. So I ain't gonna say much about Pop. I'm gonna leave her alone this morning. Big Slump. I was definitely looking for you yesterday when I had was thinking about this theory. And when I had got to my laptop cord, I said I was definitely going to show this. I definitely wanted to hear your opinion on what this professor had to say.
I'm glad that you were interested in my perspective on that. I actually follow him. His name is Professor Jang. That's Jiang. For those who might be wondering who he is. For the most part, I've been following this dude for at least a year and a half, and his theories that he actually put out there, I don't believe 100% of it, but 90% of his shit is extremely logic, and it makes sense. You know how some people will put their theories out there, and there's really no support behind what they're saying. They're just more of an opinion. Not Professor Jang. Professor Jang is one of the few people that I can say is his studies and his theories are backed by patterns and have legitimately logic. What he just said in that clip there is 100% fact. 100% fact. And here's why I say this. Any smart business person knows that when you're in business, if you want to stay in business long, you got to have a plan B for anything, right? And that's life in general. You want to have a plan B to support and help you ensure that you don't hit the ground with the first thing that comes running at you that's out of line. That's definitely Trump and how he works. And Trump literally is actually like has a plan C, D, E, and F. I mean,
I said that
we could
yesterday.
we could say whatever we want about he's an orange man, he this and that, he's a bully. We could say whatever we want about Trump. But one thing we gotta respect Trump on is the fact that he is an accomplished businessman. And he runs everything as a business. Before we move forward, I want y'all to think about this. We all know that the United States of America is a corporation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It
With
is
that
not
being
considered.
said,
It is not considered what we think it is.
it is not. The
Mm-hmm.
United States is not a republic anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been for a long time. Now, with that, what position is at the top of a corporation? President, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the small things we overlook. The same structure that you would have in a corporate business. You got your president,
Mm-hmm.
you got your vice president, you have your board of directors, you have your treasurer, you have your COO, which is the chief operating officer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, on down.
Mm-hmm.
This structure is the same on paper, mind you. On paper, it's the same. Now, with that being that, people wonder like Trump don't know what he's doing. Blah, 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 blah. That's not the point. The point is Trump do know what he's doing because he is an established businessman, and he's one. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he's one of the well-known factions of U.S. history as far as business is concerned. Period. Now, does he do everything right? Do I agree with everything that he does? No, I actually disagree with over 50% of the shit that he does. But when it comes to business, I can't disagree with it. As far as ensuring that ensuring that his business don't fall, or knowing loopholes, or knowing this and knowing that, and which takes it back to example. Remember a couple of years ago where people was trying to get at Trump about taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember it was an interview that he had, and he stated, I don't pay taxes. People let that go over their head and just kept on attacking. Another thing that I do respect Trump about is he'll tell you the truth. He might not repeat it over and over again, but he'll tell you the truth at least once. You just gotta catch it whenever he give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. Back to Professor Jane. I advise y'all to go back to his past videos. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about with him and his theories, because a lot of what he done said is happening or done happen. And it's not a one of those type of, oh, I can predict, I was shown this vision and I was in this vision I saw this. No, it's logic behind what he's saying. He got a chalkboard in front of his goddamn camera, and he's writing down, it's showing you exactly how shit is going to lay out and the reason behind it. Definitely check him out. What he just said in this clip, I agree with 110%. 110%. It matches the moves that he's doing. It matches everything. Everything to the T.
Man, when I was listening, when I was talking to them about this yesterday, and I told them, I said, it's somebody that I wanted them to hear, which was this professor, what his theory was, because it made logic sense to why we are not winning this war, why it was never in his interest for us to win this war. You got to think about it. We are in debt. We are in big debt, been in debt for years. So what other way will we get out of debt than to make everybody rely on us?
Exactly.
Man, when I say this made perfect logical sense to me. That made perfect logical sense because even with him doing the ceasefire, that didn't open up nothing. That didn't open up a damn thing. They still can't get oil through. It's still closed.
Mm-hmm. Man, they
There,
done. Have you seen the actual physical pictures, shots over there? It's not too many of them over there because media is suppressing it, but there are actual press that's over there actually at the Strait of Hormuz, and they're actually showing you it's landmines in the goddamn water over there, like fishing, the fishing base. You know, the old school fishing base, the white and red balls that you used to. It's landmines floating over there, just like that. Just picture that. Let me. The best way to explain it is, have you played Sonic? Everybody didn't play Sonic, but you know that stage where those silver robot bombs get to drop down, you got to run through them. That's what they look like. They look like balls with spikes on them, but they are actually detonate. They're actually water mines. Those are mines. You got that
Most you
floating
got noise in the
all.
background.
You got 1 million of those floating on the water over there, and then you also have torpedo mines around the floor of the strait over there too, on top of everything else that's going on. So it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild from what I've seen. However, you got to have a plan B to that, and that's exactly what's going. Yeah, yeah.
man, it's crazy. And then you gotta think about it. He did the ceasefire, and then 180 people get ill.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make it make sense.
When it comes to the orange hole, Plan B stands for bullshit.
Give me your
This
perspective
damn
on that.
five.
Give me your perspective on that, J5, if you don't mind.
Everything that he jumped ahead of the order, the Congress, to do, it's not working out.
Okay.
Everything that he promised that he was going to do, he did the opposite.
Okay.
Everything that people warned people about from him is what is coming true.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Let me ask you this. Go ahead, PC.
what what I was saying yesterday was one of that was his plan the whole time.
It is.
Then he's a fucking idiot.
No, he's doing what he told to. He's doing what he's supposed to. He's just a puppet. He really ain't in control. He's a president. That's a title. There's a difference from having a title and actually having control. We all know that this whole world is actually controlled by a shadow government that we ain't even seen who run that. We don't even see. You'll never see who runs that. But there's a complex outside of what we are actually in that actually is pulling the cards on all of this shit.
Now that part I agree with, but listen to what you just said. He is a puppet. He ain't running shit, right? But you also just said that at the top of a company is the president. The president at the top of a company, it actually runs that company.
In the face, into us. Yeah. So at the top of a company, yeah, you're right. I'm explaining it. At the top of a company, you got a president. That's a structure. To us, in our face, the illusion is that Trump is running everything. That's the illusion. He's doing what he's told. Everybody that's been president in the past since however long you can remember, and I would even take it far back right before the Depression. But everybody that's been in that position is being told to do something. They're following a script. They have to follow a script. They're not in full control of nothing. Our illusion is to see, oh damn, he's the president. We see that, and subconsciously we're like, okay, yeah, he's running things, he's doing things, but not in actuality, he's not.
Let me say this real quick. You got to think about it.
Go ahead.
Behind every company is silent partners.
Mm-hmm.
There are silent partners that are making decisions behind the scenes that nobody ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Every big company has them. Every big company has silent partners that you'll never, ever, ever see that make decisions behind their president of that company.
Exactly. 5. I'm gonna give you a perspective. I'm just think about it. In the very beginning of the United States, our national anthem is a song about war, right? You can agree with that, right?
Song about slavery, but go ahead.
Let's go before that. I'm talking about before that, in the very beginning. Now, check this out. In the very beginning, when we're talking about the beginning of the dollar, the power of the paper that we actually have, fiat that we're using right now. In the beginning, our treasury, they were called treasury notes back in the day, when they were backed by gold and silver. Before the petrodollar, when the petrodollar actually went into play in strength, we actually basically went to everybody with with deceit in mind, stating that, hey, in order to do business this route, you have to do business with these dollars. Every other country at that time didn't have fiat, but they wanted to conduct business with this because of the military complex power that we had at that time, and still have today. Now, because of that, other countries exchange their gold and silver, physical resources that actually has value, for the fiat. Once that plan fully took place where it needs to all over the world, countries started realizing that, hey, we've been swindled because there's no real true value behind this paper. You know what the United States did at that time when the countries came back and said, hey, we want our resources back? The United States just went in bully mode and said, no, you agreed to this. This is what we're doing. Basically bullying everybody into the debt system that we have in place, that's been in place for the past 60, 70, 80 plus years. Fast forward to now, that system is falling. What is the plan B? The earth's blood, oil. We go to Venezuela. Take all of Venezuela. First of all, Venezuela is one of the largest areas of crude oil in the world. Mind you, it's going to take 5-10 years to even turn that crude oil into usable oil. However, the United States has control of those deposits. That's a plan B for if the shit in Iran don't start working. First of all, let's back up. And only 20% of the world's oil comes through there. You still got 80%. Remember what Professor Jang just stated. With us knowing that our fiat system is eventually going to come to shit, the next thing is the actual resources that we already have in control. Complete control is where things is possibly going left. Is because you got greed in there where you want, the United States wants complete control. You got 80% of coming from other places. 70% of that 80% of the other oil deposits that is coming from either the U.S. allies or what the U.S. have taken control of already. It's almost as a double-edged sword. Yeah, we got a war that's going on in Iran, lives are being lost, et cetera, yes, everything else that's been going on. However, while that's going on, you can't forget about what's going on in Greenland. You can't forget about what's going on in Ukraine. You can't forget about what's going on in Taiwan. Don't forget about what's been going on in these other places also. That's what I mean by Plan B. And I'm pretty sure that the actual Plan B and C that's actually playing out is way more complex than I'm explaining. However, I'm picking up what's being put down in that regards. You got crypto that's eventually pushing into the digital era of what we feel is going to be the next form of currency with us. We got that. You got the SEC that halted XRP from being that top crypto of pressure. That's going on right now. And that's what I mean by control. It's literally a control thing.
263 wants us to explain what's going on in Greenland.
There's literally, from what I know personally in research, there's 3 different things going on in Greenland. What is said to us is Greenland is an advantageous point between the U.S. and Russia. Greenland has already stated that they have no problem with the United States coming in and sharing space and coexistence. The issue is Trump wants to control Greenland, wants to take over Greenland pretty much like they did with Venezuela. That's the issue. Greenland don't want flex. They want peace. They want it. They want to be able to coexist with everybody. But the U.S. wants Greenland specifically for military tactic, war tactics, with having an advantage over to be able to deal with Russia. That's what we see. What we don't see is that Greenland is one spot in the earth that is one of the safest if a cataclysmic event was to happen, due to elevation and placement on where it is. That's what's not being said. Another thing that's not being said is Greenland is also used for is one of the top in mineral production as well. That's something that they not putting out there. They just putting out the fact that, hey, we want to have a one-up on Russia. That's why we want Greenland. South Korea. South Korea is a major export in products. We all know this. If you don't see made in China or made in the United States, you see made in Taiwan. So if you put 1 + 1 = 2 versus made in China, that makes it to where, okay, now we're that much more bigger to be able to compete with China exports. That's a whole nother problem though. That's a whole nother problem. But I'm saying that to say this: these are different tactics that are in play, haven't been used to be in play yet, or possibly have failed, or possibly is working. That's what I mean by Plan Bs. There's just not one way to skin a cat when you're dealing with dictatorship. because that's ultimately what's trying to play out right now. Is dictatorship. And I firmly believe that before Trump second term is actually up, we are actually going to be in martial law to where he don't have to get out of office. He might not be in power because in martial law, the general of the military, and let me rephrase that. The military is what's in control once everything goes into martial law. Look at Iran right now. We done killed out majority of their leadership over there. And they have what they call the PT, the GRIC, whatever it's called. Basically, the military complex over there is in play right now. And just to put this out there, the military complex over there that's in power now, in control now, is not giving up until they die. That's what they've put on the table. We not quitting unless we die. It's not over with. We getting it back. We getting it back in blood. We not quitting. We lose when we gone. That's what's in play right now. But that's what I mean by Plan B. I apologize for being long-winded.
No, those are facts, and I definitely want to hear your take on that. 263, you know you can come up here. Y'all know who 263 is?
Nope. But Slump looking at
IRGC, thank you. Yeah, IRGC, thank you. I appreciate it. That's exactly what it is. IRGC. I was butchering the hell out of that acronym.
Do you know who that is? Big Slump?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Slump, look in the back check.
Good morning, Marquette. What is going on with y'all this morning? I see Bunny Troll up in here. What's going on? Big Red Diva is up in here. Johnny is up in here. What's going on with y'all this morning? Jones Boy. I believe
that too, J5. I believe that's very possible too.
Roomy, Gas Man. 5. I'll say to that comment that I would say to that comment that's definitely gonna happen. that's definitely gonna. It's just when and how.
That part.
Yeah,
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
If that does happen, do you believe he would be the ANTI and pop back up?
No.
Because
hell no.
Now listen, the ANTI, right? If you follow what the Bible says, the ANTI, everybody is going to love that person.
Coming from the Middle East, they might have melanin in their skin, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, I agree with y'all 100%. I just said that so we could bring that up because that's part of this conversation too.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. Gangy, if you now I just tried to post the link, however, it for whatever reason is not posting on the vertical side. So if you come over to the regular live, then you will see the link.
Let me say this. Good morning, Forever Empress. One thing that can't nobody change the footprint on is that Bible, right? So that Bible is going to be first told no matter who's in that office, no matter who's doing what, it's going to play itself out.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I do believe we'll agree with Rose and 5 when it's definitely going to be somebody with some color in their skin that's going to be that person.
And And a lot of people were saying that it was going to be Obama. However, the Bible also says that everybody's going to love that person, and Obama got a lot of hate, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not him
yeah.
either. It's not him either. Now, listen, while we're guessing who it may or may not be, right? While we're guessing, what part of the end times that we're in, the Bible also says that no one will know the day or time. So if no one will know the day or time, why would God give us accurate clues to guess it?
Mm. Mm.
Those are
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah. We can
I mean,
only assume.
anybody that has faith, I know we all have our different beliefs and believe in different religions or whatever the case is. But one thing that's facts, that Bible, everybody Bible pretty much says the same thing. And if you are a believer in the Bible like I am, you should be scared shitless. I am.
I think it might be Michael Jackson. I'm gonna be.
Yo, you need to stay on mute. Okay? You need to stay on mute. 5.
Didn't we say that it was somebody with melanin? I'm on mute.
I'm so sick of him. Um, I can't stand them. I can't stand them. I think that uh all the things that's going on, the Bible definitely speaks about time speeding up. If y'all haven't noticed how fast our days been going by, our weeks been going by. Oh, I think we all said it countless times on here, like how fast the week went by. Time speeding up.
Yeah, most
Time
definitely. I
speeding
agree
up.
with that.
It said it would be wars. It says it would be wars. It said it would be one natural disaster after another. We see it happening right in front of our faces. And I keep on saying to y'all to get ready. Because don't think for a second that Iran ain't about to hit us back. See, we ain't never felt what them foreign countries be feeling when it come from them wars. I have a strong belief. My belief is that we about to feel them effects. Some of them same effects that them foreign countries are feeling. Man, be prepared. I'm telling you, be prepared. Get prepared for what is to come. Make sure that your family is prepared.
Now, with that, right? And I could be wrong. I could have the timeline all messed up. Just tell me if I'm wrong or not. Didn't God say he's come, or didn't God say he's sending Jesus for his people first before he starts all that?
So when you say for his people,
Mm-hmm.
this is where all our different beliefs come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it because my beliefs is just different from everybody's. My beliefs are different. We was raised, everybody knows that I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. We believe that those 144,000 people that we were taught about that will be joining God in heaven, we believe that those people will definitely all be gone. So we believe that those are the people that they speak of when they say that he's going to make sure that he comes for those people. Um, I never, I believe that God made this beautiful world for a reason. I don't believe that everyone on earth is just going to be gone up to heaven and gone. I believe that the world was made for us to live and to enjoy it. So I think that God is definitely going to come through and he gonna clean up his world so that his people that have faith in him and believe in him, they're gonna be here on this earth to enjoy it. That's my belief, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just mine.
Now Marquette said even Jesus doesn't know when God
Nope.
is sending him. Only the Father God knows. Exactly. And that's why I say if nobody knows the day or time, right? And just like Marquette said, not even Jesus knows the day or time. Why would he give us accurate clues to figure it out?
But what clues we do have is that we're getting closer. And the clues that we do have is you better get right with God. Your faith better get strong, and you better make sure you have a good relationship with him. Those were clues we have. We've been having them clues forever.
See, that's what I was about to say that, PT. The word does say there's going to be signs in the skies to ensure that you are ready. So prepare yourself. He does showcase those times where, hey, this is going to be happening before this happens. This is going to be happening when this happens. This is going to be happening. So that right there is not the exact time, but it is going to, it's showing us the time period. So you can at least make yourself the decision whether you want to, hey, get right or stay wrong. You know,
Now,
that is it.
Now, if we are to believe and go by the Bible, right? Now, yes, get right with God. However, people should have been right with God, because how long did it take people to wander around the desert when it could have took them a whole lot shorter time if they had just been right, got right, listen to God? Samson, how powerful could he have stayed if he had listened to God? I'm talking about like y'all are saying get right with God now, but people should have been right with God.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you got to look at it like this. I mean, we don't want to be looking at it from third person. There are people that might have been, like for example, raised in the church, but not knowing who he is, just hearing the word, not letting it resonate with them, and then whatever at a certain point in life, they get it, and then they get saved, and then from that point moving forward, they're living in grace. You still got that time period for some people, depending on how they are brought to him, or depending upon their walk to him. You got to leave that in place too. You know, we're not born into this world knowing that God is the way where we need to go.
Right.
We just don't know. Even though we know we have resonance of knowing what right is wrong, we just don't know, hey, God is the way, and hey, we don't do right, we gonna end up with the devil, etc. You know what I mean?
Right. And also, everyone's walk with God is different. And I'm going to give you a practical example that everybody can relate to, right? Some people learn better by seeing things. Some people learn better by hearing it explained to them. Some people learn better by doing things, right? Some people learn all three. Different people learn different ways. However, and that is where it comes in, where everybody's walk with God is different, because I'm not going to learn God the same way you learn God.
Agreed.
That's facts.
Yeah, that's definitely agreed. Because some people can see that touching the iron stove is hot, and I'm not gonna touch it because I saw him touch it and his hand is burnt off. So boom, I learned my lesson right there from somebody else's mistakes. Some people learn, oh dang, don't touch the stove. Okay, look, I gotta touch it, and then I burn my hand. Ouch, that hurts. I'm not gonna touch it no more. Some people learn like that. Some people got to bump their head 4 or 5 times doing the same thing. Okay, I get it now. That's the way they learn, you know. And then some people just don't get it. Some people just don't learn. I agree with that
We were
100%.
talking about that the other day. Some people don't learn their lesson. God had to keep on putting them back in the same place, the same situation, so they can keep
Right,
learning
right,
from the same situation because they not getting it.
right, right. And at the same time, God is only gonna tell you so many times.
Yeah. You know,
God's gonna only, let you give you that warning a few times. You know, we talked about that the other day. Look at what happened to King Solomon. you know, he had it all. He was in grace of God. God gave him control over demons, et cetera, et cetera. He was able to write down each demon's name and what they did, and what was their principality and all of that good stuff. And in that midst, he fell short of God's grace from infidelity. And soon as God left his presence, demon was on his top. And from that, he had to figure a way out himself to lessen and try to prevent and try to control these demons, which is, like I stated, was the birth of sorcery and witchcraft, etc.
Marquette, I see your comment. He said, when you die, no one is going to heaven. You're just sleeping until the resurrection. The authority that God gave Jesus to resurrect the dead when the time comes. I definitely believe in the resurrection. It's been displayed in the Bible countless times about the resurrection and about the people that Jesus showed that he had the power to bring back. It's been shown countless times in that Bible. I do believe in those 144,000. That's where we differ at, that there is a number on people that are going to heaven. See, one thing that I believe in is that those people, those anointed people that are in that count of the 144,000, they know who they are. They know exactly who they are. God has gave them that anointed to know that they are one of those chosen ones. But we all have different beliefs. That's just my belief on that. Sleepy Lounge, good morning. Good morning, Elaine. I love these conversations, y'all. I swear. I love these conversations because good morning, Flavor, Mad Dog. Because no matter what is going on in the world, is going to come back to the Bible. No matter what's going on, it's going to come back to the Bible. He said, facts, pretty trucker, those 144,000 will be the ones in heaven with God, Jesus, and the angels. So, yeah, so we on the same page because that's definitely my belief. That's exactly what I believe in. I think Rose has said it the other week when we was talking, and Rose said, part of the anger that is coming from the people, the Middle East people, is because they have figured out that they are not the chosen people. And I believe those to be facts. If you are awake and you have done your research, you know exactly who the chosen people are, and they know it too. And what's so bad is Big Slump, Roast, and Just My 5. Did y'all see the videos that has circulated around that Russia had opened up the oldest church on earth, right? The oldest cathedral. And when they opened this oldest cathedral up, all of the prophets, all of the people that were in the Bible, what color were they?
Melanated.
Brown for sure.
Things that make you go,
Yep, I saw
Mhm.
that. I saw that.
Yeah, so just to let y'all know, the clear people, they use the technique called whitewashing. And that's where they basically they either destroyed artifacts or they kept the artifacts and painted the skin on the people a different color.
Mm-hmm.
That's what whitewashing is. And that they couldn't do that to everything, as you can see. But the majority of what was accessible, they was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the image of the image of the white Jesus. I remember that it is an image of a person that was actually walking the earth, but I cannot remember who.
Caesar Borgia.
Okay.
Say that again, Rose.
He said Caesar
Borgia.
But yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. I said Christo, but yeah, that's
But
who it
anybody
is.
that believes in the Bible and knows the Bible, what it says that Jesus' hair was like wool.
His
Like
skin was
wool.
like bronze. His skin was like bronze. His eyes were red like fire.
Hands of brass. Yeah. A nigga, basically. You know? Yeah.
His
basically.
hair wasn't bone straight, baby. His hair was not bone straight.
His hair was like wool. You could stop right there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
You can stop right there if you want to. But yeah, it tells you right there. It's the small things that we overlook. But yeah. And it's crazy. Those people and those people that are in these famous paintings, there are horrific stories connected to these folks. Horrific stories. I mean, for real. Literally. That conversation is for a whole nother time. Because that dude in that picture, was Yag. I can't tell you what he
Criminal.
I'm trying to use my words carefully, but he was all of that that's being exposed now. All of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Wait, we see your comment.
so was King James.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask y'all let me ask the chat and y'all a question. Did y'all know that King James wrote a book about demonology before the Bible was
Yes, he was a demonologist.
Yep. Witchcraft, demonology, all that stuff. Fools and goblins, all that. So.
Okay. So for those people who is questioning that God ain't real, this is your proof that God is real. Literally. Because if it ain't no such thing as demons, then why is it a demonology book? Why did that come before the righteous? That makes the whole world of sense, and that puts proof to the fact that demons, Satan, and demonic entities and demonic forces is trying to pervert and twist everything backwards to what God has said. So of course they're gonna. I'm just saying. I'm going on mute. But I'm just saying. You do once the further research you do on your own, I guarantee you this stuff start resonating with you, and you're gonna understand really what principalities we fighting against. You know what? That made me feel better though. I'm glad that I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that's crazy.
Somebody said, if you found proof that God exists, why aren't you a billionaire? Then Jesus wasn't a billionaire either, my dear.
And it definitely ain't for me to be a billionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire because it's said that it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than anybody else.
Say it again.
Again, it says, the word says that it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than everybody else. I don't want those problems. I'm content with where I'm at.
Yeah, it says a rich man has a better chance of getting sitting through the eye of a needle, or a cow going through the eye of a needle, than for a rich man to get into heaven. That's what it say.
That's exactly what it say, Rose. That's exactly what it say.
You know, I was listening to this preacher talk last week. I think I'm not sure if I showed it on here. I think I did show it on here. And he said, even the richest man, God doesn't supply their life with everything. It's something missing that God leaves there, just that, to make sure that he can come back and rely on him.
Now, understand the meaning behind what he said when he said a rich man has a better chance of going through the eye of a needle than making it to heaven, because he restored all of Job's riches, right? And Job was his diehard, you know what I mean? So it has to do with the mindset of the rich person. And you have to go back to the story that he said that in. He was talking to the man that was just stingy and didn't want to, you know what I mean, do anything but gimme.
Exactly. I'll give an example. I said it yesterday. Some things you got to watch yourself to ensure that you're not stepping in God's way when you're helping other people. And if you are rich and you have all those monetary gains, of course, you're going to be more comfortable with giving money to help people. Now, it might not be time for you to help a friend with monetary gains. God might want your friend to struggle through whatever it is. Example, your friend is battling an addiction of drinking or something. Let's say he's battling an addiction for drinking. And that's the one thing that God wants him to work on. And he's struggling. And the only way that God was able to get his attention was to break him down monetarily to where he's dead broke, to where he can't buy nothing. At the same time, he is having withdrawals, et cetera, going through that hard, tough time of trying to recover from this drain. He come to you, broken up. Hey, man, I need a drink, man. Let me hold a couple dollars so I can go get me some vodka or go get me whatever. If you're rich, you can be like, you know what? Man, you look bad. I don't want you to feel like that. Here go a couple of dollars. Go get you something to drink. That is not the time to give that man no money for that drink. He almost there. He's almost crossed that finish line to be a better person. You just gave him that money. You just did an evil act, and you ain't even know it.
Oh, matter of fact, go keep talking. I got something for you. I got something for you, Slump. Go ahead, keep talking.
What if that very dollar that you just gave that man, he gets that drink, and he dies because of that? You are now held accountable for that man's death. That's blood on your hands. Because God, you wasn't supposed to step in God's way in that situation. That's just an example, and it's just hypothetical. This is just an example. Go ahead, PT.
Hold on, I'm looking for it. Cause see, I be finding inspirational videos on certain things just like this, right? So y'all listen to this real quick. Is my screen sharing? Yes, it's sharing.
I'm gonna hold
Listen
your
to
hand
this.
when I say this, and I'm gonna whisper this in your ear because we both need to hear this. God sends repeated patterns in certain situations to us in order for us to be a resource, but not the source. No, don't let go. Don't like, okay, so listen, I'm gonna be a resource and I'm gonna tell you what I mean. The problem with me is that I like to save everybody. I want to save everybody. Because I have a neglect and abandonment issues, I don't want to see anybody struggle or suffer. So my first mindset is if I see it, if I hear it, I'm jumping in and do everything I possibly can. However, God is sitting there saying, Ingrid, I've sent you the repeated patterns. And you're sitting there asking me, why do you keep sending me the same people if this is not my assignment? He's sitting there saying, because I sent you, I thought you learned your lesson from the last person that I sent, but apparently you didn't. So I sent it again because I thought that after I sent you what you went through with the last individual or the last situation, that you would learn that you're not the source. I'm the source. You're just a resource. Take it for this. You sat there and you asked me to be a vessel and you wanted to be used. Well, I let you do so. However, you got to understand you're just a vessel. A vessel is a resource. It's not the source. I am the source. You know, I'm the big yacht, but you're just a small boat. You're a little canoe. You are there to get them to the next step. My problem is that every time I do so, I have an issue with overextending myself, over-explaining myself because I don't want to be misunderstood because I'm always misunderstood if I don't give enough information. However, that's not my problem. My problem is that you don't understand that you've now bankrupted me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I have nothing else to give. My problem is that I sit behind closed doors and I have to take accountability. I can't blame it on you anymore. It's me. I cannot be your savior. I'm not your savior. I cannot keep on taking you to the first step, but then you sitting there coming back, Ingrid, I need the next. I'm taking you all the way home. I can't do it. That's like me sitting there cooking the food, whipping the food up, putting it on a spoon, put it in your mouth, telling you to swallow it, how to swallow it. That's not my job. My job is to be a resource, not the source. And I am literally hurting, trying to reprogram myself, knowing that God sends people in certain situations because it's something that they have to go through, just like I have to go through my journey. But God, I just want to make sure that they know who holds their tomorrow because I know you hold mine and I can deal with it. It don't work like that. Come in. Give me a hug.
Like this shit.
I'm
Like
just
this
saying.
shit for real.
I'm just saying because, you know, we be wanting to help people. Sometimes it ain't our place. Ain't our place. It's not our place. It's not our place. You can lead a horse to water all day. You cannot make them drink it. You cannot show them how to drink it. We can give y'all, come up here and give y'all all the valuable facts that you need to work on your relationship with God. We can't make y'all have a relationship with him. We can't make y'all get ready for anything that is coming that we can't see, because we can't see God. We can't see anything. We can't make y'all be ready. We can't. We cannot make y'all be ready. Only thing
That's
we can
fact.
do is give y'all facts. That's it.
And PT, I say the same thing, man. I always say, if whatever I say or my presence or my actions can just put a seed of doubt in your mind to question what's going on and just not go with it, I done did my job. That's enough. Because eventually you're gonna go seek your own answer and get your own perspective of whatever it is. And that in itself is putting you on the right path of you thinking for you instead of going along with what is being going with the flow, going with what's out there. You got to think for yourself. You don't want to lose your life because of somebody else. You don't want to lose your soul because of somebody else, neither.
Salute, Lalizi. I see you pulled up in here. Elaine pulled up in here. Our relationship with him definitely has to be personal. Those are facts. We're gonna get off here in a minute, y'all. I just want to show y'all a couple more things. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always, if I got my computer, I'm gonna give y'all some good vibes. You know what I'm saying? Some good vibes. Listen to this. This one made me get some understanding for facts.
I saw a post that said, and you really do have to be careful being happy around unhappy people. And don't let that go over your head. That is facts. I agree with this for so many different reasons. One is energy. Energy transfers so fast. So when you are in a good season in your life, when you are happy, when you have a peace of mind, when you are full of joy, you have to protect your energy. You have to protect your spirit because energy will transfer over. If you're surrounding yourself around someone who is unhappy, someone who is full of negativity, someone who is in bad spirits, that can rub off onto you. Two, jealousy is real. Jealousy is so real. If you're around someone who is genuinely unhappy while you are genuinely happy, that can obviously make them jealous. They can project their negativity onto you, whether it's negative thoughts, whether it's negative opinions, whether it's negative energy, negative actions. Another thing is it can be very, very draining. If they are constantly around you complaining, constantly around you nagging, constantly around you being negative, that can drain your energy. With that being said, you just genuinely have to be mindful and be careful and to protect your energy at all times. I saw a post that said,
Those are facts.
Definitely facts. And it don't matter who it is. It can be the closest person to you. It can be your twin. And I mean your literal, you were in the womb with them twin. If they ain't for you, they ain't for you, baby. You got to let them go. Nah, you good, Slump. You good. You good. Sis, if you talking, we can't hear you.
I'm here. I'm here. Hold on, y'all. I got one more for y'all before we get ready to go, y'all. That's all right, Big Slump, because we about to get ready to get off of here. You know, I gotta give them some good vibes, you know what I'm saying? Something to think about, you know what I'm saying? So hold on 1 second, y'all.
Man, always be careful with who you put your mouth on and who you decide to speak on and come against, especially if they ain't did nothing to you for real. Because you end up going at the wrong person, it might be a spiritual hit on you. Yeah. When I say a spiritual hit, you know, chosen ones got hitters in a different realm that you can't see, and they'll go talk to God about it. And once God figure out that if a person is doing something wrong to a person they did nothing to them, especially when it's special chosen one that's on a special mission, God will divinely set up some stuff to get you up out of here. Yeah, either do something bad to you, make something bad happen to you, like you go to jail, you get sickness, you get an illness or something, or in some worst cases, you might get unalived. Like, you got to be careful who you put your mouth on and try to come against and plot evil on, because some of these folks that God got on a super special mission, he'll just take you out. God would do that. Depends on the mission that he's trying to get, because one thing about it, God uses chosen ones to send messages out to the other people to come his way. And if he know that person is on a special mission to get to really lead millions and thousands towards him to the right way, and you getting away with it, man, God will put a spiritual hit on you. He'll make some stuff happen. I'm telling you, so be careful who you put your mouth on and who you come against and speak evil on, because you never know what type of relationship they got with God, man. Be careful now. Man, always be careful with who you put your mouth on.
I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Salute to everybody that came up, Big Roast, Big Slump. I'm just my 5. My girl is here today. You know what I'm saying? She was here today for our show. Salute to everybody. Good morning, Nessa. Good morning to everybody that joined. I just really needed to give y'all some news this morning, some good vibes. Bless y'all day so y'all can go on forward, get to that money, and enjoy y'all day. Until tomorrow, anything you want to say, Five? Rose?
Rose, is there anything you want to say to the people? I don't think so. He might be driving. All right, y'all, listen. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you so much. We love you. Have a
nice day. Bye, y'all. Goof Troop. See y'all tomorrow.
Thanks for rocking out with your girls, you know what I'm saying?
It's been real, baby. But we got to go.
If you get blocked or timed out, it's just business, nothing personal.
Now see, if you had got you some act right, that wouldn't have happened in the first place.
Bye, we out.
Y'all come back now. You hear?